Today let's go ahead and get started with your practice photos for abstract photography. To begin with, let's go ahead and look where your projects are. To begin with, you can go ahead and click the little file folder and go to Data G. When you go to Data G, there's a lot of things in there, but you need to be in Art. So go ahead and click on Art. It's also in 6th grade, so if you go ahead and click on that, you're going to go down to Photography, and all of your files are in here already. So this is going to be you and whoever you shared a camera with. But before you go there, you're going to do a practice photo today. So your practice photo to begin with, go ahead and if you double click on practice, you're going to see that there are 3 photographs, and these are 3 that I took so you can take a look at them. So here what we have here is one of markers, one of paintbrushes, and then I have one of my hands. So you can go ahead and choose one of those that you're going to be working with. Next, what you're going to be doing is after you have your 3 that you've chosen, you're going to be working in a computer program called Pixlr. And let's go ahead and open up Pixlr. Oh wait, I need to go to the internet for Pixlr. So let's go ahead and look up Pixlr. If I go to Pixlr, there's no E in there, so I'm going to go ahead and go to Pixlr Photo Editor. So if I go to the Photo Pixlr Editor, I'm going to go ahead and open up this program. If you've ever heard of Photoshop, it's much like Photoshop, so except it's free. So let's go ahead and we're going to create we're going to open an image from computer. So you're going to go ahead and go to the second one down here, and it's going to ask you where you want to open it from. And if you remember, it was the Data G, Art, 6th grade, and Photography. If we go down to Practice, and let's see, which one do I want to put in here? I had that is the Sharpie pen. So I'm going to go ahead and open that up. Now what you'll see is that there's a lot of things in here that I probably don't want to do. So what I'm asking you, or what I don't want in my picture, and I want to change some things because this is kind of a boring picture. So what you're going to be doing today is kind of playing around and working with some of the different tools and things that are in here. And I am requesting, or I'm requiring, that you make 3 changes in total. So let's go ahead and I'm going to show you some of the changes that you can make. One of the first ones, you'll probably notice that this has a lot of extra stuff that I don't really want, like the box back here and the part of the stapler. So what I can do is I'm going to take the cropping tool, and that's this tool right here. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to crop out part of what I don't want here. So I'm going to just square off my image. Now I can go ahead and press enter, and that takes away a lot of stuff that I don't want. Now I can go ahead and I can take that a little bit closer. I think I can get rid of more of that box. So I'm going to go ahead and hit enter again, and it takes it a little bit smaller. Now what I can do is I can go ahead and I'm going to try and change the color. So if my word was color from the other day, if my word was color, what we should do is go ahead and try to add a little bit of color on one of these Sharpies. So let's go ahead and one thing you can do, here's another tool you can do, you can go ahead and zoom in. So this is not changing your actual photo at all, it's just using the navigator to zoom in some. So I'm going to go ahead and kind of position that right. Let's see, let's go ahead and pick a Sharpie that I want to use. I'm going to go ahead and do this one right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with my paintbrush, and I'm going to start painting this a different color so that I can have a Sharpie that looks like a different color. Now I don't want to paint it black, it's already black, so I'm going to choose a different color. So if I go around, I can choose any color on the spectrum over here. And let's go ahead and make a nice pink one. I'm also going to need to change the hue over here so that I can change and make it a different color. So it's way too dark. There we go. That's the one I wanted to move. So back to pink over here. Now I'm going to go ahead and say, you know what, I want a little bit more pink. We're going to go ahead and say okay. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with my painting, and you can see that this is the reason why I really wanted to get it closer in, because it's easier to paint whenever you're much closer. Now you can also change the size of your paintbrush. So if I wanted to go over here and say, you know what, it'd be faster if I was able to change the size of my paintbrush, I'm going to go ahead and let's make it this one, and we're going to start using it. Oops, I made a dot over here where I didn't want to, so I'm going to go ahead and go to edit, undo. I can undo that, and I'm going to go ahead and continue on with my painting. So I am taking this and I'm making this a pink marker instead of a black marker. I'm going to go ahead and finish that, and then I'll show you how to do some other things. So right now I have my pink Sharpie. Turned out okay. Alright, so let's go ahead and try some other things in here. So if I were going to choose some other things, here's another way you could have done that. So I do have a lasso tool. I could have, instead of painting everything in, I could go ahead and circle everything that I wanted. So if I circle all of this, then I could have taken that area and painted this in also. So I would be able to paint that much easier. This wand tool over here, so if I click on the wand tool, and it's going to circle everything. However, this I have too much black. If this was just one little section that I would have been able to separate out, like you have one single dandelion, this might work, but I have too much black and too many pens together, so that would not be something I want to use. So if you do get to the wand tool, I'm going to go ahead and go to Edit, Deselect, so I don't want to do that anymore. I also don't like that pink pen, so I'm going to Edit, Undo a few times so I can get back to this one. There we go. Alright, next what we're going to do, let's go over to some filters. So let's try a filter, and you can kind of play around with some of the different looks and things. If you wanted it to have, here's some black borders, you can adjust the size on it. I'll say okay to that one. Let's go ahead and let's try a adjustment of some kind. So we can try to, let's try with some color vibrance. So on this section, I just want you to kind of play around and see what some of the different things do. This one's not changing it. Oh, there we go. There we've got some like black and white. We've got some different color. You can kind of see it changing. Let's say okay. Once again, if you don't like it, you can go to Edit, Undo. When you are needing to make 3 changes. So after you have your 3 changes, at the end of class, you're going to go ahead and need to save this. So whenever you save this, you're going to go to File, Save, and it's going to ask you what name do you want to put it under. So let's start off with, you don't want the name of the original photo. Instead, you're going to go ahead and put your name. So I'm going to go ahead and write Mrs. Rao on this one. And this is my abstract practice. Alright, so I have my abstract practice. Now you can go ahead and say OK. You're also going to need to pick where you want to put it. So that depends on whether or not you're in 3rd hour or if you're in 7th hour art. So let's go ahead. I'm going to pretend I'm in 3rd hour practice today. So you're going to go ahead and save that in here. Now that's going to allow me your photo. Next, what you're going to do is you're going to go ahead and go to Google Classroom. In Google Classroom, there is another short assignment for you, and it's going to be what are the different tools. So at this time, I would not exit out of your tools, but you're going to need to have this up, and you're going to need to know, well, I used the crop tool because I wanted to make this the background, kind of the extra stuff, go away. Another tool that I used is I used the paintbrush to paint the pen, the Sharpie, pink. I also did a filter and an adjustment. So go ahead and remember the different names of things that you did and what happened whenever you did them. Alright, enjoy working in Pixlr. You are to, after you finish this and you have it saved in the abstract practice, your class period, then you are free to go ahead and start making your changes on your own project.